It's one of the most consumed cheeses in the world. Every year, more than 18,000 tons of this delicacy are produced. It's made from sheep's milk and a fungus. But how is blue cheese made? In this video, we'll discover how one of the most delicious cheeses on the planet is produced. Roquefort is a creamy, crumbly blue cheese originating from France, made from sheep's milk. It's one of the oldest cheeses in the world and one of the few blue cheeses still made with raw milk. Its flavor is intense and its texture is creamy. It's produced in wheels of varying sizes, with the classic blue mold veins spreading from the center outward, creating a unique pattern in each piece. It was one of the first cheeses to receive a protected designation of origin in 1925, which guarantees its exclusive production in the natural caves of Roquefort. According to legend, the cheese was born when a shepherd left his lunch bread and sheep curd near a cave. When he returned a month later, he found that both the bread and the cheese had turned blue. Upon tasting a small bite, he discovered that the combination was absolutely delicious. Traditionally, true Roquefort must mature in these caves, where Penicillium roqueforti, a mold present in the environment, gives it its characteristic blue veins and intense flavor. Every year, approximately 18,000 tons of this cheese are produced in France, which equals about 3.6 million cheeses, each weighing around 3 kilos. To make each wheel of Roquefort, about 7 liters of milk are needed. The cheese must be made with milk from Lacan sheep, raised in a specific area in southern France. Its aging process lasts a minimum of 3 months in the caves, where it develops its creamy texture and unmistakable slightly spicy and salty taste. This is the Papillon Cheese Company, which has been making Roquefort since 1906. The company produces 1,600 tons of Roquefort cheese a year, keeping the tradition of this iconic blue cheese alive. Roquefort is born in these hills from the grass, the basic food of the Lacan sheep. The flocks graze in the hills in the Tarn Valley, where the air is pure and the grass is plentiful. The sheep consume 3 kilos of fresh grass a day. After a day of grazing, the sheep head to the barn to be milked with a modern hydraulic pump. Their nutrient-rich milk has the perfect fat content to create a delicious cheese. The milk from these sheep is essential for Roquefort to achieve its unique flavor and texture. Milking takes place for 6 months of the year, during which each sheep produces about 200 liters, enough milk to make 60 kilos of Roquefort. From December to June, the sheep are milked twice a day. The regulations governing production require that the milk be delivered from the farm to the factory in less than 24 hours. So, as soon as the sheep are milked, the day's production begins its journey. To ensure quality and freshness, the milk is pumped into tank trucks and quickly transported to the dairy. The first step in making Roquefort cheese is receiving the milk. Every morning, 1,000 liters of milk arrive, transported from nearby farms. Unlike other cheeses, Roquefort is not pasteurized. It's one of the few blue cheeses still made with raw sheep's milk. The first challenge cheesemakers face is the threat posed by harmful bacteria. To ensure the milk is in good condition, samples are analyzed in the lab. The batches that pass the analysis enter the factory to be transformed into cheese. The problem is that sheep's milk is more than 80% water, so the next challenge is to separate the protein and fat, which will eventually become Roquefort. This process is done using a natural enzyme extracted from calves, called rennet. Rennet is an extract from a calf's stomach and plays a key role in the process because it helps the milk coagulate. Inside this vat, 1,900 liters of fresh sheep's milk are received to be transformed into several Roquefort cheeses. Next, the rennet is mixed with the milk. This causes it to coagulate, transforming the liquid milk into a solid mass called curd. As the milk thickens, it separates into fat and protein solids, which form the curd, and the liquid called whey. The solid protein clumps take about 2 hours to form. The increasingly dense curd is the part that will be used to make Roquefort cheese. Once the curd is formed, it is cut into small cubes. A giant cheese cutter breaks up the curd. But how does blue cheese get its color? This is the most important step in making Roquefort. Penicillium roqueforti, a mold extracted from inside rye bread, is sprinkled over the curd. Rye bread plays a vital role in making Roquefort. Inside it, the mold Penicillium roqueforti develops, the microorganism responsible for the cheese's flavor and its characteristic blue marbling. To preserve tradition and maintain full control over production, Papillon has had its own bakery since 1975. Each year, Papillon's baker bakes 300 loaves of rye bread, destined for producing the mold used in the cheese recipe. These loaves are baked until their crust is well cooked but the inside remains moist. This inner part is injected with the Penicillium roqueforti strain, and the mold develops inside the bread. Once the curd is covered with mold spores, it is poured into cube-sized molds, which give it its characteristic round shape. Once in the molds, the cheese is cooled to 10 degrees Celsius, allowing it to solidify. During this process, excess whey is drained, helping the cheese take shape and consistency. As the cheese dries, the aging process works its magic. First, carbon dioxide is released, giving the cheese its unmistakable texture. Just 3 days after the process begins, when a Roquefort wheel is opened, you can already see perfectly formed small cavities inside, an early sign of the transformation taking place. The aging process is underway, and the cheese begins to expand as sugar turns into CO2. The cheese wheels are flipped and drained for nearly 2 days before moving on to the salting stage. To intensify its flavor and take advantage of its natural preserving properties, workers sprinkle the cheese wheels with sea salt. Each wheel receives a precise dose of coarse salt. Before being sent to the aging cellars, the wheels are pierced. This process involves making small holes in the cheese to allow the mold to properly develop inside. At first, Roquefort cheese is white, but over time it acquires its characteristic blue color, which spreads from the center outward. This change is the result of mold growth, which transforms the cheese's texture and flavor. The cheese is left to rest and mature. The aging process takes about 10 days to begin forming the first blue veins, a sign that the Roquefort is starting to develop the unique flavor and appearance that make it special. The Roquefort caves are special because they offer the perfect environment for cheese production. This geological formation was created 1 million years ago, when the collapse of cliffs gave rise to a well-ventilated cave system, 2 kilometers long and just 300 meters wide. The humidity in the caves remains at a constant 98%, and the temperature ranges between 8 and 12 degrees Celsius, providing the ideal conditions for the cheese to mature. Under these conditions, the mold develops inside each 3-kilo wheel. Everything happens under the watchful eye of the master taster. After 20 days in the cave, the cheeses are wrapped in aluminum foil to slow mold development and allow the texture to become creamier. Once the ideal point of maturation is reached, Roquefort has a consistency that crumbles easily but remains slightly moist. Its interior is covered with strong, spicy mold veins. It will remain in the Roquefort cellars for 3 months, where it will develop its creamy texture and intense signature flavor. Always striving for the highest quality, the cheeses undergo rigorous controls before being wrapped and distributed. Today, Roquefort is exported to various countries, where its unmistakable flavor enhances salads, sauces, and steaks, adding a touch of distinction to every dish. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with someone who might be interested, and subscribe to this channel with notifications on to keep learning.